Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV on PlayFrame. We have lost Crystal Mom's blessing, and that is pretty bad, but in exchange we did get a tiny little dragon ghost that is pocket-sized, and I think you will agree, it's a pretty good trade. Like, what can't you do with a little tiny dragon ghost? Anyway, we've got to talk to people, because so many things are happening. Many of them bad. Hello, Alphino. You'll have to wait. Literally everybody else should be talked to first. Hello. As the receptionist of the Rising Stones, 'tis my job to receive all manner of guests with due courtesy. I've had to memorize the political positions and military ranks of a half-dozen different nations. Goodness. I really feel like you need an assistant. You have to do way too many things around here. Flamin, hello. That lady knight from Ishgard cuts quite a gallant figure, doesn't she? She does, and I'm now starting to think the rest of you are all going to be saying the same... Yep, you're all going to be saying the same thing. Good news, Alphino! You get to talk. Alphino has a message from Moonbreda for the Scions. Ere I forget, I believe Moonbreda has requested a gathering of the Scions. I assume there's been some progress concerning our efforts to combat the Ascians. Pray inform her that our business with the Ishgardians is concluded for the moment. I shall be along once I've completed my communications with the Crystal Braves. Sounds great. I'll go check in with her. Where is she? Oh, that's right. She's back here. Moonbreda. I hate to break up whatever interesting conversation you're having, but I'm more important. All done with your talk of dragons? Wonderful, because Ascians are next on the menu. Let's head into the solar, shall we? Let's do. So nice having another tall friend around here. I mean, almost all of them are tall relatively, but, you know. So, what would you like to talk about?
Now that everything's calmed down a bit, relatively speaking I mean, I thought it might be a good time to share our progress on the weapon. I believe we're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Well, don't keep us all in suspense.
Just in case anyone's forgotten, let's start by reviewing what we already know. So, an Ascian is an immortal because its soul doesn't return to the ethereal realm when its host is defeated. Instead, it flees to the place that lies between our world and the void. Therefore, the first step to permanently defeating an Ascian is preventing its soul from making this journey. And if you recall, when we last gathered here, I had verified that white auracite has adequate capacity to entrap the beings, albeit only briefly.
Which left the small matter of their extermination.
Aye. To unmake an Ascian soul, one must needs smite it with a concentrated burst, or blade, of purest ether. However, we wanted for both the data and the means to forge such a weapon.
Short of experimenting on an actual Ascian, you see, there's no way to gauge how much ether its soul is made of. As such, we don't know what etheric density our blade needs to have in order for it to work.
So we'll just have to make the densest blade we can and hope for the best. Though that would require a lot of ether. Hang on a minute! Why didn't we think of this before? White auracite can hold an absolute heap of ether, can't it?
Please tell me you're joking. God's sakes, Ida. I feel as though I'm reliving the same scene over and over with you. How many times do you need to be told that white auracite cannot store ether for long periods? Being intangible matter, ether is given to dispersion. Only in its crystallized form is it a stable source of energy. I will test you later on this, so see to it you do not forget.
Right, yes. It's all coming back to me.
So our hopes rest on good old crystals again, do they? While they are certainly reliable, they leave something to be desired in the area of portability.
Indeed. I am reminded of the quantity of corrupted crystals required to thwart Leviathan, and the extraordinary lengths to which the Lamentsons went to transport them. What if it should prove that a similar quantity was needed to destroy an Ascian soul? Or still more?
I do not envy the poor sod who has to lug all of that around on the off chance that an Ascian appears.
That's the very problem we set out to solve, and I reckon we've found the answer. If it isn't practical to lug around the ether we need, we'll just have to draw upon another source. And the only viable source is the land.
If you mean to tap the Great River of Aether, know that it will entail considerable risk. Meddling with the currents may well induce a surge like to the one which despoiled Mordona.
Give me a bit more credit, will you? Why would we need to tap the river when there are veritable reservoirs jutting out all over the land? I speak of corrupted crystals. It might be that their aspect is out of balance, but a crystal's a crystal. It contains ether, and we can help ourselves to it.
While corrupted crystals are indeed abundant, there is no guarantee that they will be in close proximity at a crucial moment.
But what if we don't need them to be? What if we could tap their power from afar? A malm away, say? If we could do that, we'd have ready access to ether aplenty in almost every corner of Eorzea.
Who are you guys getting to put together your PowerPoints?
I've yet to put my theories to the proof, but I've got a good feeling about this. If no one has any objections, I'd like to see where this avenue leads.
If you think it's worth your while, you have my blessing. But tell us, what are your theories? I, for one, am most eager to understand the process, however vaguely.
I thought you might say that, but no one wants to listen to boring old theories all day, do they? I know I don't. So with your permission, I'd like to try something a bit more hands-on. I've already built an etheric siphon especially for this purpose, and I've been meaning to try it out. Thing is, the profusion of corrupted crystals in Mordona makes it something of a high-risk testing ground. If anything goes awry with the siphon, it would be better if it didn't happen within spitting distance of quite so much ether. Ideally, I need an isolated specimen. Does anyone know where I can find one?
May I suggest northern Thanalan? There you will find corrupted crystals of middling size, standing a reasonable distance apart. Ideal for your needs, I should have thought. Oh, and if you do elect to visit the place, I should be much obliged if you would assist me in another matter while you are in the area.
Has something happened?
Movement has been observed at Castrum Meridianum. During Operation Archon, the Alliance dealt the stronghold a heavy blow. Its facilities were extensively damaged, and its garrison reduced to a fraction of its former strength. Not long after our forces withdrew, however, their ranks were replenished by reinforcements from Castrum's Sentry. They now seek to rebuild, and to this end they have their sights set upon the ceruleum processing plant. Having lost the Empire's support, the 14th Legion lacks the resources to sustain itself. To them, this is a bid for survival, and they will doubtless fight like desperate men. Though I have dispatched the Crystal Braves, I fear their strength alone may not suffice to stay the Imperial assault. I would request the Scion's aid in the defensive effort.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to inveigle us into fighting your battle with the promise of shiny crystals. Well then, consider me inveigled. I won't lie, the crystals you speak of sound perfect, so the Garleans have to go. Besides, we can't afford to beat about the bush. There's no telling when the Ascians will next appear.
Thine eagerness to hurl thyself into the jaws of danger cometh as little surprise. Exercise due caution, I prithee.
Though you have become a crystal brave, you are yet a scion, Alphino. We could hardly refuse you. Pray, join the Crystal Braves and lend them your support. Thangred and Papalimo shall accompany you. Ida and Yashtola, in the meantime I would have you assist Moonbreeder. Scout out the crystal clusters, that the testing may commence as soon as the Gallian threat has been eliminated.
Sorry for the little on-screen text prompt things. That's a free company thing that Falca is doing there. And, well, as a bonus, you got to see Falca's very good naming of those ships. And there's another one.
If it please you, I shall continue mine own experiments on white auracite.
Thank you, Arianger. Everyone, pray see to your preparations and depart as soon as you are able. Go well, and be safe.
I always go well and be safe. I'm to speak with Alphino. Very well. Everyone going well out here? Oh, you've all scattered about. Alphino, I'm afraid you will have to wait. For a small organization, we certainly chew through a prodigious amount of foodstuffs. Perhaps I should put a lock on the larder door. I don't know if that's the solution to the problem, but I like that you're looking for solutions. We do seem to be running low on provisions. I believe an excursion to the marketplace is in order. I will leave you all to that. What's going on over here? I see that the Scions once more ready themselves for the road. I too must make preparations for an absence from the Rising Stones. Oh, where are you going? It seems you barely arrived before you must once more plunge into the fray. Duty is an unforgiving mistress, huh? Though the tasks we tackle are not like to be as realm-shaking, Coltene and I must also heed her call. Where's everyone going? Hori was most eager to join you on the front lines of battle, but as fate would have it, the antecedent had other plans for our talents. Everyone's keeping secrets from me. And everyone else has left. All right, Alphino, good news, you're up. 'Twould seem that events have once more conspired to rob us of rest and recuperation. Though I would wish it otherwise, I must ask that you head straight away to the processing plant. The Fourth have already deployed to the area and await the arrival of the Scions. Wilrid will brief you on the developing situation. Meanwhile, I must rendezvous with Captain Ilbert at our headquarters in Ul'dah. I shall take command of our forces there with a lighter heart, knowing that you go to support the front lines. You got nothing to worry about. Did I tell you about my dragon ghost? Your duties take you to northern Thanalan, do they not? We too must say our farewells to the Rising Stones for a time. Flamin travels to Ul'dah, and we shall serve as her escort. Ah, that's what you're doing. At my daughter's behest, I go to contact certain old acquaintances in the Gilded City. We're beset on all sides by civil unrest and imperial machinations, threatened by primals and troubled by dragons. We need all the allies we can muster. Many of my friends hold positions of power, you see. It's my hope that they can be convinced to aid the Scion's cause. If past events have taught us anything, then we know that Eorzea must present a united front, or we shall fall. Ah, how extraordinary that my little Acilia is involved in such far-reaching affairs. I'm proud that I might now stand at her side not only as a mother, but also as a colleague. A colleague with influential connections, but I fear that Ul'dah has become a place of danger even for one so familiar with her streets. Bah, woe betide the blackguard who so much as glares in your direction, milady. You are in good large hands. I shall be well protected, it seems. Shall we be on our way, then? Y'all have a good trip? All right, then. Well, let's get ourselves to the cerulean processing plant. All right, where is Wilrid? Wilrid, are you up here? Buddy? Down here? Oh, there you are. Sorry. I guessed incorrectly. Found you, though. You look good in blue. Commander Leveilleur sent word that you'd be coming. A veteran of your talents is most welcome. Not that I don't think we can handle the situation, mind you. I've learned a trick or two since that disaster with the Amalja. But returning to the task at hand. The Flames reconnaissance scouts have reported Imperial soldiers assembling at Raubon's push. Such a force is likely interested in only one thing: getting their hands on the resources found here at the processing plant. The Garleans could begin marching on us at any time. Pray speak with Lieutenant Edelstein that we might coordinate our counter-strategy. In the meantime, I'll inform the others that you've arrived. No doubt it will be welcome tidings. Good seeing you. It's kind of fun seeing all these old faces kind of regularly now. All these little bit characters and small players we've met along the way, joining one big group. Sergeant Arami, my soldiers yet tell tales of your deeds during Operation Archon. I said that sentence weird, sorry. Would that we could sit a while and reminisce about old times, but I fear more pressing matters require our attention. The civilian draftsmen, you see, have come across several highly suspicious crates within the boundaries of the processing plant. I had my sappers take a closer look, and our worst fears were confirmed. These boxes contain powerful explosive devices. Devices of Imperial design, no less. By my order, the Flames stationed here are conducting a thorough sweep of the compound as we speak. Though it troubles me that we were unable to apprehend the Imperial spy behind this, I have faith that our men will be able to neutralize the threat for now. In the meantime, our scouts bring troubling news on the latest movements of the Imperial Army. I would once again ask for your aid. And I'm here to provide. You're lucky you found me at a time when I'm not doing something else. Lieutenant Edelstein wishes to share a report with you concerning the Garleans' movements. Do tell. We've been keeping a close eye on that Garlean garrison, and 'twould seem the Imperials have finally begun to mobilize. According to the reconnaissance report that just came in, the squads seen leaving the Castrum are too few in number to effectively take and hold our position. They'll likely mount a swift assault and focus on the acquisition of resources. I have, of course, also shared this report with the Crystal Braves. They've decided to take to the field to meet this assault head-on. I've apprised your fellow scions of the situation, and I'm heartened to know that they will be joining the effort. Pray report to Lieutenant Alien and lend your much welcome strength to the counteroffensive. Oh, I'd love to. Really need to practice these Dragoon skills. They're very rusty. Been swinging an axe around too long. Oh goodness, all of you are here already. Good for you. Have you ever seen Moon swing her axe? Swipe, slice, cleave. There's really no stopping her. I didn't know you were a warrior. That's great. Now that is an impressive piece of steel. Isn't it a beauty? A lady merchant in Revenant's Toll simply gave it to me. Said she was investing in the future or some such. That's a sly little reference to a side character who named Rowena, who you will routinely run into trying to acquire endgame gear with each expansion. So it's a pretty good little side reference to those little story quests, or the side story quest if you're doing endgame, you know what I mean. Thancred. Be it a squad of soldiers or some Magitech monstrosity, I shall allow no foe to harm the lovely Moonbreeda. You're very one note lately, pal. Considering the weapon she wields, I don't believe the lady is in need of additional protection. Yeah, no, she's like twice your size. She has a very large axe. I feel like she's fine. Glad to have you with us, Durman. As I'm sure Lieutenant Edelstein has explained... Edelstein? Darn it, I always get it wrong. I'm gonna go with Edelstein. Has explained, the Garleans have deployed a small force from Castrum Meridianum. Their main column assembles to the north near Dalamud's Talons, but we've also spied several squads attempting to conceal themselves on the approach to the west. They wish you to rush forth and commit to battle with the main column, leaving the detached force free to raid the plant and pillage supplies. Not much of a strategy, but these are desperate men. Captain Ilbert. Greetings, Scion. I understand the commander bid you and your fellows come lend a hand to the Braves. With such mighty heroes at its disposal, the Fourth should have little trouble contending with aught the Garleans might throw at them. But even you cannot be everywhere at once. The Third was getting restless holed up in Ul'dah, so I marched them out here to fill any holes in the plant's defenses and add their numbers to your counterattack. The reinforcements are welcome. We have enough soldiers now to divide our own forces and safely engage the enemy far beyond the walls. Aye, 'twould be best to avoid staging a battle anywhere near this much ceruleum. Let's take this fight to the Garleans. A wise course indeed. I shudder to think of the consequences should any of these storage tanks be exposed to fire. If there are no objections, the Scions shall join the Fourth and give battle to this main column. You're the Third then, Warrior of Light. Your job will be to intercept these squads hiding out in the west and prevent them from reaching the processing plant. When you're ready to proceed, report to Lieutenant Yuyuhase. His scouts should have a rough idea of where the Imperials have concealed themselves by now. Will do. This sounds like it's going to go pretty smoothly. And I'm not being cute there, I actually don't remember what happens. Yuyuhase, how's it going? A pleasure to be fighting at your side once more, Scion. Our operations invariably succeed when you're around, and victories are wont to pave the road to greater coin. Now, this detached force we've been sent to eliminate has split into smaller squads, the better to conceal themselves within the terrain hereabouts, I imagine. We'll need to split ourselves up as well to cover more ground and make sure we root out all these would-be raiders. And seeing as you're an army unto yourself, I've assigned you to your own areas to scour clean of enemy soldiers. Aye, this'll be a simple search and destroy. We'll rendezvous back here when the task is done. Happy hunting, Scion. Well, thank you. It is kind of nice. I appreciate that as you progress through the game, achieve great things, even before we've gotten to expansions, characters are already regarding you as a real force to be reckoned with. It's not a case where the game is just like, and all the characters in it are just cutely pretending that like, oh boy, careful for those soldiers, they'll really give you a lot of a problem. Granted, again, we are way over leveled for this stuff right now, but I don't know, it helps the fiction to hold together a little bit better, you know? Anyway, there's one batch. Let's go find another. Hello? I have a jumpy surprise for you. Boing! Ah, almost cleared him out. What a sturdy trooper. Ah, well. Job's done, Chief. What next? You seem grim, Scion. I'll take that to mean that between us, more than a few Garleans won't be making it back to the castrum. These Imperials, though, they've certainly made us earn our pay. I would be a happy man if I never had to tussle with another of those Magitech horrors. It is time we bid this war-torn land farewell. I'll contact the Fourth and let Lieutenant Alien know the West is now clear. I would appreciate it if you would do the same when you report to Lieutenant Edelstein. So I heard once, and this is... I guess I could Google this, but whatever, I'll just ask the internet. I've heard it suggested that a cue for how to, like, know when to pronounce Edelstein's name, like, whether to pronounce it like Stein or Steen, is, like, 90% of the time, just look to whatever letter, I or E, is second, and go with that one. So in this case, Stein. If it was I-E, go with Steen. I don't know if that's true like all the time, and it probably depends on which specific language or whatever you're trying to pronounce, but that's been the guide I've been using. Confirm or deny? Sergeant Durrami, what news with the Garleans? Their raiding parties are no more then? Excellent. The Amagina engineers will be most relieved to hear that the plant's no longer in any immediate danger. Thank you again for your assistance. Happy to help. Was that it? That seems pretty easy, honestly. Lieutenant Edelstein appears concerned for Moonbreeda's well-being. Oh. You must be anxious for words of your fellows. Lieutenant Alleyend has reported a sound victory over the main column and informs me that the Scions have already turned their attention to other duties. All but one, that is. The Rugadine lady with the large axe. It would appear she's chosen to remain at the site of the battle. I know not what task keeps her from returning to civilization, but Northern Thanalin's no place to wander alone, even for a capable sort such as her. I'd certainly feel better about things if you could check in on her before you continue on your way. I will. I think I know what she's up to. Moonbreeda! Need any help? Don't blow anything up, okay?
Hold on, I won't be a second. The beast seemed peckish, so I gave it a taste of my axe.
Ah.
I know. As Urianger never tires of reminding me, an axe ill becometh the hand of a scholar. What can I say? I like axes. To hear my mother tell it, I came into this world holding one. And it's not as if it stopped me picking up a quill, is it? I often think of the man who introduced me to the joys of learning. He's one of the reasons I decided to come to Eorzea. Him and my excruciatingly stiff childhood friend. Considering how unalike we are, it's a wonder we ever got on. The world's a strange old place, isn't it? Aye, that ought to do it. So far, so good. At these concentrations, it shouldn't matter too much if something goes awry. Just enough ether to make it interesting. Did you see that? The way the crystal glowed?
Yeah, I can see it.
The siphon works, I'm happy to say. With a few refinements, it should satisfy our appetite for ether, which just leaves the small matter of forging our blade. I'm not sure how to go about it just yet, but I swear to find a way. I'll put a blade in your hands if it's the last thing I do.
He senses me. A useful talent.
An Ascian. Are they onto us?
By your brand, I see you are an Archon of Sharlayan. Keeper of knowledge. Seeker of truth. Meddler.
I don't know what the hell's you're saying, but I don't much like your tone.
Your instincts serve you well. But come, be not unsettled on my account. That lovely brow was not made for frowns. But I waste my breath. Let me direct my words to one who understands them. We meet at last, warrior of light. I am Nabriales. And you have long been a thorn in my side. I suffered the overweening presence of La Habrea that men might host the power of gods, only for you to undo my hard work.
Oh, bugger.
Do settle down. You must concede that I acted in self-defense. But what's this? I do not sense the blessing of light. Oh dear. Could it be that frail Hydaelyn has forgotten her champion? This I did not foresee. Shorn of light as you are no longer a threat. And better yet, the seal is broken. Now is the time to claim the staff. With it in my grasp, I shall rise above them all and take my place at Lord Zodiac's right hand.
What did that bastard want with us? Nabriales, he calls himself. With charm like that, I'll bet he has maidens falling at his feet. Unconscious. But this staff... You say just talking about it had the bastard grinning like a brat on his name day. Must be quite a staff. Oh, gods. He means Tupsimati, Master Louis Soir's staff. Minfilia's in danger. We have to get back to the Rising Stones.
Let's do. Anything else to say before we go? If I'm right, the Ascian's after Tupsimati, then we'd best make all haste back to the Rising Stones. Minfilia must be warned. Right, you know that I could have gathered that. Let's go! Run, 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 run. You're here. Master Louis Soir's staff is kept in the solar, isn't it? Quickly now.
You two!
So, you were able to divine my intent. What now, warrior of light? Ah, but that name is no longer fitting. You have become decidedly dull, and quite incapable of barring my entry.
What do you mean?
You truly do not know? Then I suppose it is only right that I enlighten you. The blessing of light kept you and your fellow meddlers safe. It was that which prevented my kind from entering your domain. My kind, I say, though it had no power over the likes of Elidibus and La Habrea. Being of this world, they could come and go as they please, while I could only look on. But I need look no longer. Now that the seal is gone, I mean to act. Unlike the others, I am not given to waiting. I shall take that staff and bring about the next rejoining.
Rejoining? Then it was your doing. The Isle of Val, the scholars, all of it.
You will not harm her!
Moonbreeder!
Why must you insist on forcing my hand? Did you learn nothing from our last meeting? Ah, but I forget. My words fall upon deaf ears.
The staff is but a broken relic, a memorial to the departed. What possible use could you have for it?
What use? You mean to say that all this time you kept the key, never knowing what it was you possessed? The staff Tupsimati, or rather the stone tablet it bears, is host to a great power. Together with the horn, it can be used to draw vast quantities of ether from its bearer's surroundings. How else do you think Louis Soir was able to invoke the power of the 12 without making them an offering of crystals? Summoning requires not only prayer, but a profusion of ether. Even a child knows that.
If I did not know before, you may be certain I do now. But above all, I know that we cannot allow this staff to fall into your hands. I will die before I let you take it.
Insufferable woman. I would happily end your miserable life here and now. Alas, Elidibus would never let me hear the end of it. Very well. If you will not part with the staff, I will take you too.
After them! Quickly! Before the rift closes!
Boy, no part of that went well. And now we've got us a boss fight. And it's a bit of a doozy of one, so I'm probably gonna have to bring in No, of course I have to bring in some friends. What am I talking about? Anyway, let me bring in some friends. Be right back. Okay, and the team is assembled. All right. Now then, let's see, who have we got on the team? We've got Inara back again, being one of our tanks, and tanks are going to be very important in this fight. It's actually still kind of challenging, so this should be fun. We've got Solvar as a samurai. These symbols sometimes confuse me, but I'm pretty sure... Or ninja. Nope, that's a ninja. Or a damage dealer. Alifa is a monk. Mikkel is a scholar, one of our healers. Falca is a astrologian, another one of our healers. Emmerich, an Emmerich cosplayer, will be a paladin for us today, another very important tank. And Kunoa will be a summoner for us. Thank goodness. Okay, and I'm still a dragoon. You knew that. Anyway, we're about ready to start. Moonbrita, hang in there. Forget about me. Go. Right. Sorry. Okay. But first, I know the timing is urgent and all that, but I do have to read as tradition. A ruthless Ascian known as Nabriales has intruded upon the sanctum of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, spiriting away both the antecedent and the powerful relic she refused to yield. Pursue the Paragon through the dimensional rift and prize Minfilia and Tupsimati from his tenebrous grasp. Some nice $10 words in there. All right, let's go. This fight is actually challenging, like I said, so I'll try to explain it as we go and not die. And if I do die, it's fine. The rest of the party will handle it. All right, sideburns, let's go. Hello, very good squad. Thank you for joining us. Loving the Emmerich cosplay. Top notch. All of you are great. And you look great. And I'm sure you'll do great when and if I manage to die. So this fight's gonna be fun. It's got some mechanics, and mechanics are important. They haven't been, like, the most important, I know, for a whole lot of these fights as we've gone, but they're going to become increasingly so from here on in most of these big boss fights. As we get further in, we're actually going to have to do more of them. Which will probably make this more fun to watch. Here we go! I shall not toy with you as does La Breha. Witness the terrible might of a true servant of Zodiac. Alright, so that Spark movie's doing, it's kind of one of his main damage-dealing attacks, and on its own, not terrible. The problem is, you know those spells from Final Fantasy VIII Double and Triple, which can make the following attack hit twice or 3 times? He can do that. So he just cast Double and then Spark on our tank, and it hurt a lot. Triple would do worse, so the tanks have to pay a lot of close attention and use their damage mitigating abilities. Writhing powers of ruination, from the deepest pits of the abyss I summon thee. So for this phase of the fight, 2 different colors of little ball are going to appear and get drawn toward Nabriales. If they reach Nabriales, he's going to get a big damage buff for the big attack he's going to do at the end of this charge here. So we don't want them to get to him. They hurt us, and they also apply a debuff to us, which is not great. The thing is, basically, like, if we touch one color of these balls, we're going to get, like, we're going to take more damage from that color of ball. So we don't want to touch 2 of them in a row. And I'm slowed, and now I'm going to get really hurt. Ow. So basically what you want to do is everyone needs to run around intercepting those balls and intentionally popping them, but alternating which ones you hit so that you don't take too much damage. Because if you hit the same colored ball 2 or 3 times in a row, you're probably going to die. Also, you just kind of want to look out for the general danger puddles, as always. But the most hazardous part of the fight is yet to come. Everyone's doing a great job, by the way. Ooh, there's a triple. Hang in there, Inara. Well mitigated. But I think things are about to become interesting. We're back on ball collection duty. All right, so gray. And now I've got a physical vulnerability up, so don't run into another gray one, run into a red one. They also have a slight area of effect, so like if you pop one too near your party members, you'll also kind of deal unintended damage to them, and if they've got a vulnerability to that particular ball, it could be very bad. Oh, intercept the red one. There we go, got it. Whew, okay. And now we need to take out the Shadow Sprite. Yep, they handled it. I'm doing a bad job damage dealing, but hopefully I'm doing an okay job explaining, kind of. That would hurt a lot more if we'd let the balls reach him. What a sturdy fella. I didn't remember having to wear his health bar all the way down. By Zodiac's name I command thee, river of time, mire mire thy enemy in thy sluggish flow. He has power over time itself? Yep. We're about to get drawn into this thing. And then once in here, it's very easy to die. We are slowly going to be taking damage the entire time we're in here. Big meteors are going to fall. Tanks should stand under them to keep them from touching the ground, because if they touch the ground, we're all going to get hit and hurt very badly. And tanks can survive that. And then once we find this tear, we need to hammer on it. We need to break this thing as fast as possible. And I'm going to use a limit break to try to ensure it happens. Because if we don't kill this thing in time, we're going to die. Go, Diamond! Yes! Pickup groups still die in this fight all the time. It's really easy to if you don't know the mechanics. And that's not true of a lot of the Realm Reborn era boss fights. I rather like this one. We've almost got him. Go team! Well done, well-dressed squad. Cheers. Oh, all of you did wonderfully. You always do. Oh, goodness, and all posed already. Look at the lot of you. Goodness. I've really been relying on these Dantalis folk to get me through all this, and they've never, ever disappointed. You'll look great. Thank you all so very much for helping. You all were wonderful, and I'm going to get back to this here story now. See you all in a bit.
You're safe. Thank the 12.
You may have bested me this day, but what of the next? What of all the days to come? Remember, light no longer holds sway here. I may return whensoever I wish, again and again and again. Eventually, you will falter, and the staff will be mine. Until next time, scions.
There will be no next time. This is the end.
trickery is this? No. No! Cannot! No!
Use Tube Samati to gather ether. Quickly, before he breaks free! Concentrate! Call to mind the time you struck down La Habrea with the Blade of Light. Why won't it work? Is it because we lack the blessing of light?
Damn it. So much ether. And it still isn't enough.
Fools! No mortal prison can contain me! I shall make you pay for your insolence!
Please, Mother Heidelin, hearken to our plea. Lend us your divine light. Why can you not hear us? Do our words no longer reach you?
If only we had a bit more ether.
Moonbreeder, what are you doing?
Master Louisoix, I understand now. The choice you made. In death, there is life. Farewell, Urianger. You damned old coot.
Moonbreeder, no! You mustn't!
What? No! It cannot end! I am eternal! I am immortal!
Moonbreeder. She's gone. You did it, my friend. The Ascian is dead. This device is a legacy of Moonbreeder's toils and sacrifice. I shall hold on to it for safekeeping.
Minfilia, are you all right?
I am.
Oh, we were surveying northern Thanalan when we received the distress call. We returned as swiftly as we were able.
It seems you have everything in hand, however.
What happened here? Where is Moonbreeder?
She gave her life to temper the Blade of Light. I have no words.
Rather than await the inevitable, she took her fate into her own hands.
Does Urianger know?
My friend, there is something I must tell you.
I heard all, my lady. The moon sinketh, taking her leave of the heavens, yet her passing heraldeth the coming of a new day. Moonbreeder hath fulfilled her destiny, hath she not? Long ago, far across the seas in the Charlean motherland, Moonbreeder and I did study under the sage tutelage of Master Louisoix. Full oft did he impress upon us that knowledge existeth to serve the greater good. This sentiment, however, was contrary to the nation's policy of neutrality, which censured intercedence in the affairs of foreign lands. In spite of vehement opposition, he founded the Circle of Knowing, and journeyed hither to the heart of Eorzea. Through his noble sacrifice was the realm spared its doom. Yet this great soul, whom all should rightly have honored, was branded a pariah in his own land. His peers did accuse him of forsaking his duty as a man of learning, and of meddling in the course of history. When he left Charlean behind, Master Louisoix gave no word to signal his intent to Moonbreeder. Close as they were, as master and disciple, she was deeply wounded by the sudden exclusion from his confidence. Above all, however, she was confused. Try as she might, she could ill comprehend her master's motive. The slanders that were heaped upon him after his passing served only to inflame the turmoil within her. For years upon end, she knew not what to believe. Torn as she was twixt the man whom she revered and the man who forsook her and his duty both.
The Louisoix I knew would never forsake his duty, much less one of his own.
This I know full well, my lady. 'Twas not for want of love that Master Louisoix hid his intent. He but desired that Moonbreeder discover her own path, free of the shadow of his influence. Long did I contemplate revealing the truth to her, and long did I hold my peace. After all, was it not Master Louisoix's wish that she come to the truth unaided? I told myself it was, and resolved to let her suffer. Knowingly did I deny my friend the comfort she craved. And now she hath gone to her rest, with doubt still in her heart. Speakest thou in earnest? Did Moonbreeder truly come to understand Master Louisoix's will before the end? The realization hath set her free. She may now find the peace which hath for so long eluded her. Oh, Moonbreeder, my dearest, how I shall miss thee.
Moonbreeder gave her life that we might possess the means to defeat the Ascians. Her sacrifice must not be in vain. Let us continue her work on the Blade of Aether and see it to completion.
My lady, I would mourn Moonbreeder in mine own way. I beg your permission to return to the Waking Sands.
Of course, my friend. Take all the time you require. We shall be here should you have need of us.
Let's see. Who to talk to? Our list of grievances against the Ascians was already overlong. Must they continue to add to it? Would we had arrived a few moments sooner? Just a few moments. She was counting on the theory that a soul's ether burns brightest at the moment of its passing. A scholar until the very end. Oh, Moon. I miss you so much already. Never have I seen Urianger so utterly defeated. No one should be made to suffer such grief. We shall gather in the Charlian Manor to celebrate Moonbreeda's life and mourn her passing. Sounds like a good idea. Sure. But given we've already gone a little bit long here today, why don't we go ahead and plan on doing that start of next time. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you again to the Dantalis folk for helping with that fight. And I will see you all next time. Take care until then. Goodbye.